What's going on, y'all? Grind to Motivate back in this thing again, man, with another video. And if you're watching the video, you're here for the Chris Rock review of his recent special, Selective Outrage. I didn't really feel a way about it. I thought it was straight for the most part. There were definitely some distasteful jokes thrown in there, but for the most part, I thought it was great. But of course, the internet has different opinions, and we're gonna go ahead and check them out. So, I went on the Shade Room because they seem to have a whole bunch of stuff. I don't even follow them, but they got some stuff. I went on there seeing what them folks are saying. And of course, they pieced together all the gender warring type people to say their piece. So we're going to see what was said. And then I will also give my take on those particular points. Let's go. This tweet here is by Xavier Pope. He got a weird Xavier spelling here. But it says, Chris Rock called Jada Pinkett Smith a bitch. And said Meghan Markle played the race card, punching down on black women. Clownery. As far as him talking about Jada Pinkett, I think it's weapons free right there, man. You get the green light because of what has transpired between the two of them. If you think about it, that's pretty much the reason why Will Smith humiliated him on national TV. She condoned it. She's sitting up there laughing, thought it was funny and all that kind of stuff. So, hey, bro, it is what it is right there, man. You are a bit. Actually, I don't really have a problem with him saying that about Jada Pinkett. She's made Will Smith look like a straight fool. Yeah, Will Smith is a simp for keeping her, a beta male simp for sitting up and putting up with it. But she's made Will Smith look a straight, plumb, idiot fool. All the different things she's been saying, I really don't have anything else to call her but a bitch. You know what I'm talking about? That's all I really got to say. I don't care if you think it's disrespectful. Jada Pinkett is disrespectful. And if you don't think she's disrespectful, you live in a whole alternate universe and you're an idiot. As far as the Meghan Markle thing, I would say that he had some good points on that, and he had some points that I didn't agree with as well. But we'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. Punching down on black women, I can't really give you that one, bro. Selective Outrage so far. Let's check out the next one. This one here is by Taylor. And it says, LMAO. Everyone talking about Chris Rock's performance and can't get over Jada and Meghan disproved his point about selective outrage. I agree right there. Jada Pinkett deserves no type of remorse from anybody or no type of anything, nothing. He torn to everyone, Democrats, Republicans, younger generations to baby boomers, whites and blacks, SMH. He called white people crackers on national television. Y'all not talking about that though. Yeah, he did do a pretty good job of evening out the playing field with who he crushed and whatnot. I thought he did an okay job. Of course, like I said, he said some distasteful things that were definitely fitting of a little bit of coonery and buffoonery, but for the most part, I think he was pretty even with his roast. Let's get it. Sherry and Sade says, so Chris Rock's weak ass decided to go in on Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and kept up his already 20+ years of attacking Jada, continuing his cooning trend of attacking black biracial women. Never doubted you for a second, Will. From what I remember, or from what I know, Meghan Markle is one of those cases where the one-drop rule doesn't automatically mean you're black. I believe Meghan Markle has kind of aligned herself with whiteness for the most part before, she got into the royal family. They kind of gave her Negro wake-up call. She was running around here thinking, she's a white girl and whatnot. So I'm not really... That's definitely some selective outrage right there, man. Meghan Markle wouldn't even be rocking with y'all if them folks had never said what they said to her in the royal family. So I can't really give it to you right there. Let's get it. Dominique Devereaux says, I'm seeing all these think pieces about what Chris Rock said, but he isn't saying anything new. I love Meghan Markle, but surely she knew that the royal family was racist before she married into the family. And everyone was teasing Will on Twitter about Jada. This is all facts. As far as what he said about Meghan Markle and knowing, the royal family was racist, yeah, that's you're a duck. You're running around here. She was, like I said, she was running around here on her aligned with whiteness, thinking there's no such thing as racism. Like, what do you mean? Like yeah. She kind of halfway decent looking, so all the folks was just like dealing with her in high school, wherever she from. And so she was running around here aligned with whiteness, thinking that the royal family was gonna just accept her, and they didn't. And I think that when it comes to what Chris Rock said about, you knew that they was gonna be racist because they're the royal family. They slick invented racism. And I think whenever you're a black dude or any other kind of person that's not white and you decide to, mess with a white girl or a white dude or something like that, you're taking a risk whenever you go to their family meetings. because there's always going to be somebody in a white family, at least like 5 folks that's like legit racist, and they're not going to like you because of that. There's so many stories that I've heard of black dudes, white woman girlfriends being disowned because they decided to stick with him or have a kid with him. So yeah, man, Meghan Markle's an idiot right there. She was definitely running around here cooning and buffooning before she got her Negro wake up call. As far as what Chris Rock said about them asking if the baby was gonna be dark, that was definitely indeed racist. It don't got nothing to do with black people talking about dark skinned babies and all that kind of stuff. It was definitely racism right there. They're like, yeah, we don't want a dark baby to be in the royal family. We didn't want a dark baby. We want to have bad genes where we lose our hair. We have terrible neck chins, and we burn in the sun. We want all that. We want to keep that. We want to keep that. As far as what he said about Jada, you already know. Everybody's been crushing Will about Jada Pinkett this whole time. Me, you, and everybody else. So, let's go. Next, blah, 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 blah. I hate this type of famous black man. Dave Chappelle, Kanye, now Chris Rock. Who believes that being a contrarian is trendy? All he did was prove he hates black women. And yeah, I'm looking at your picture right now, bro. You looking like LGTV John Johnson. So, I don't know, man. You definitely are... I'm not saying like LGBT people automatically are, thinking a certain way or think one way, but this guy right here is one of those LGBT dudes that also hates black men for some reason. I don't really like. I just like, you're a black man, but you hate black men. Well, he's not black. He's just a LGBT dude who's like, it look like he might be a Latino. Yeah, so yeah, you just on some BS, man. I guess he's mad. He's mad at Dave Chappelle for what he said about the LGBT community, which I thought he kept it a buck. Kanye has, he's definitely been saying some extra, some mess. And, he paid the price. Chris Rock, he said a couple, two things. But for the most part, hey, man, it was straight. And then we got up here, Andy Signore comes up. Yeah, especially when Chris Rock hyped up numerous black women in the show. Beyonce, Serena Williams, his own daughters, etc. Looks like you're proving his point. Hashtag selective outrage. Hey, man, look like Andy took care of that right there, bro. He took care of you, bro. It was definitely selective outrage. Y'all sitting up mad. He crushed on Jada Pinkett and Meghan Markle. Jada Pinkett and Meghan Markle are indeed 2 black women I think are, a little slow, a little behind the 8 ball. They either done something that was unscrupulous, or they done something that was just straight up dumb. Let's go. Forever on Will's side in this. It's not comedy to target Jada for 20 years. Target that couple repeatedly. I know they are annoying, overshare, and have questionable boundaries, but Chris Rock is an insufferable jerk who mocks black women and does ministerial-ish. And I'll say, okay, I can kind of give you something right there. I'll say Chris Rock does seem pretty insufferable. I've heard some stories about him behind the scenes where he was like lame, like some budding comedian dudes I know have told me like Chris Rock is lame as hell out here in these streets, like for real. But like I said earlier, I don't care about him going after Jada, man. I think he also said something about like Jada was talking about, yeah, he should quit his job or something like that. So I think that's lame. They've got their own little beef or whatever. Everybody's been making fun of Will Smith this whole time. It is what it is. Her name is also Baby Hippo. And then she says here, I remember watching that black hair documentary and how it mocked black women's choices in processing their hair, wearing weaves and wigs while totally ignoring history and relation black women have with their hair in a deeply racist country, and I remember how it made me feel. I didn't watch that show. From what I remember on the news and media, they was kind of big up in the show, but we know the news and media is white and GA white. So there's that. But I do think that we should stop doing all the weaves and wigs, even though it's going to take a little time for us to get out of it because of the racist country and the way that they've told us that our hair is not professional, even when it's just the way it naturally grows. Then she says next, black male comedians globally are the only racial group that punch down and mock women of their own race for their looks, their mannerisms, their relationships, how they work, even how they were raised, and it's time to call it out. I guess so. I've also seen some white dudes and everybody else do it. Just comedians, it's like you kind of got to be like a little bit of a coon bucker to be a top tier comedian. You got to, because you got to come out to everybody and say little things that you probably shouldn't say about your folks. That's just kind of the way it goes, man. Unless you're like a white dude and stuff like that. But for black dudes for the most part, it's like, I don't know, like the only way you can really be funny is in comedy is to say things that are edgy and people wouldn't expect. I don't know. It's definitely a weird, hard thing to balance. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Reese at Black Woman Views says, Chris Rock punching down on black women again is unsurprising, and the support he is getting for it is even less so. Very telling. He doesn't feel comfortable fighting in front of white folk, but he profits and relishes in denigrating and humiliating black women. I will say that based off what I'm getting here on the Shade Room is very one-sided, and they're obviously all for women, even when women are not doing things right. So the Shade Room is definitely somebody that we can't really go off of the tweets that they decided to pull out. So far what I heard in the show, he only went out to Jada Pinkett and Meghan Markle. That's not all black women. Although those are also not good examples of black women, if you ask me. I've already talked about it. Meghan Markle doesn't think she's black until she got her Negro wake-up call. Jada Pinkett is running around here being a thought. And, they talking about she was messing with young dudes back in the day. And, she's okay with being a thought and all that, man. Yeah, ain't nothing cool about Jada Pinkett, man. So, yeah, this is definitely a very lopsided view of things from the Shade Room. But what do we expect, man? Of course, they're on their gender war they're on their gender war content. And they're also not FBA people, so I guess they'd be cool with, making that thing happen here in America. But let's get it. TYE says, Chris Rock said, quote, "You don't fight in front of white people," but had no issue calling a black woman a bit in front of white people, negatively commenting on black women's hair in front of white people, or letting white people use the N-word around him. SMIH, yo. SMH. Yo, I said SMIH. But, I thought that was lame at the end where he said, "You don't fight in front of white people." Like, bro, you really thought you said something right there, didn't you, bro? You lame as hell. But then, I guess, him talking about G.I. Jane, calling Jada Pinkett G.I. Jane, that wasn't really I don't think that was like a black women hair attack, of a mass general black women hair attack. I think it was just a Jada Pinkett hair attack. Jada Pinkett running around here bald and being, the meanest witch in the West. So, what are we really out here defending? I don't really have no defense for Jada Pinkett. I feel no sorrow for her. Also, the thing he said at the end, I fully 100% agree with. Chris Rock, after that, you get the 100% coonery, buffoonery award. There are some things you just can't come back from, and I would say that's one of them, because on that little piece right there, man, you made all us look bad. You look like a straight bitch. And that's probably why Will Smith came up and slapped you, because he saw how you was with them white boys, and he figured, hey, man, he ain't going to do nothing because he just let them white boys just call him and say whatever. So I'm going to come up and slap the mess out of him, and that's going to be that. Because you really sat out there, you was letting Louis C.K. and all them little white dudes sit up and say, yeah, the N-words, yeah, and they were just okay with it. The only person that sat up there and had some sense was Jerry Seinfeld, but you run around here stupid. So for the most part, I say I didn't really have an issue with the Selective Outrage. Do I think that Chris Rock as a person is putting up coonery and buffoonery? Yeah, I'll say that. I will definitely say that. I think that, like I said earlier, there's things you can't come back with as far as being coonery and buffoonery. And that whole little panel he had with Louis C.K. and all them little jokers, coonery and buffoonery, man. But this Selective Outrage, I can't really give it to some of these folks in the way that they're feeling about it. There was definitely some good points made in there a little bit. But for the most part, it was just a lot of black women and their feelings about stuff that doesn't even have anything to do with them, or things that they shouldn't even be hit by because it doesn't have anything to do with them. Jada Pinkett is a thought, meanest witch in the West. That has nothing to do with all general black women. Meghan Markle is a biracial, privileged, white adjacent woman until she got hit with that Negro wake-up call. She has nothing to do with all black women. She didn't even care about y'all until them folks was like, you're gonna be a darkie. If we have a baby, it's gonna be a darkie. So there's nothing really to say there. Those are the only two people I really heard him talk about. Like the one dude, the white dude pulled out. He did big up Serena. He big up his daughters. And I think he talked about somebody else. So it was definitely even. I think he did, he came at the Republicans and the Democrats. I thought he did a good job with that. I thought that was clever the way he did that. I didn't watch none of them other little jokers that he had on the show, man. Once they said JB Smooth was in the lineup, I was like, huh, count me out. I'm going to fast forward this guy because JB Smooth is ass-tacular. as a comedian. He is ass-tastic, boy. I do not want to hear nothing you got to say, boy. You are a straight dud, boy. Even on your movies, you ain't even funny. How are you, like, you know how comics or comedians, rather, they have, you know, their stand-up version of them where they're funny, and then they have their movie or acting skit version of them where they're funny. Whereas people say Kevin Hart's not really funny on stand-up, but in movies, I find Kevin Hart pretty funny. And, you know, like maybe somebody else. Who's another example of that? Like Dave Chappelle or somebody. Like Dave Chappelle's funny in stand-up. And then I guess he is funny in his skits and everything as well. Then you've got other guys who may not be funny with skits or acting, but they are pretty funny with the stand-up. You know, that's just how it is, man. But to me, JB Smooth ain't funny in either. So that goddamn, he need to just take a seat. That's all I got to say about that. He need to take a seat. But as far as the whole Selective Outrage, I thought it was, it's pretty even. I didn't really see a real super issue with it. I'm not up here downing black women or nothing like that, but I think it is a little selective outrage for you to be mad about those two people. Who else did he say anything about? If I missed something, let me know. But all he said something about was those two people. And those two people are having issues in these streets. So that's that to me, man. That's my thoughts and my take on the whole Selective Outrage comedy special. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you watch it to this point, thanks as usual. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.